Today, we're going to take one of these ceramic pots from Kmart, add some of our leftover vinyl to create this colourful pen cup. So, let's make this. I don't have a lot of materials today. We've got a standard grip mat. You'll probably need two, one for the outline and one for the colours. Then I've got these DIY ceramic pots. I think they're about $5 for two at Kmart. They're so cute. Not great for anything if you want to put water or anything in it. So not for real plants, more as an artificial plant or a holder or something. But really cute. And then I've just got my scrap vinyl folder. In an upcoming tutorial, I'm going to actually turn these folders into something a little bit more functional, because you can see there that I just flipped through all of my spare vinyl. I want to make it a little bit more organized, so I'm going to do that shortly. But yeah, just any scrap vinyl that you've got. This is not an iron-on vinyl project. This is your permanent vinyl project. We're going to start today's design in Canva. I'm going to go to the right-hand side and click on Create a Design, and I'm looking for a square. So I usually go for the 12 by 12 inch square because that's the same size as our mats. However, for this project in particular, it doesn't matter what canvas size you choose because all we're doing is looking for some images. So I'm going to turn one of these Kmart ceramic pots into a art holder or a pen cup. So I've got some pencils that I never know what to do with. They're Derwents, and we've kept the little metallic box because that's like a childhood memory that the cool kids had the metallic Derwent pencil boxes, but really they're just sitting there. So I want to put it in something a little bit more creative. So I'm looking in elements. I'm going to do a search for splash, and I'm looking for things that look like paint splodges or paint splashes. And I'm going to choose about 4 or 5 of them. You can see that once I've chosen one of the free ones, the magic recommendations comes up. And that is a really useful way of finding other images that are similar in this, can be like a similar style, it can be in the similar shapes, all of that kind of stuff. And really good, particularly because we're looking for non-pro versions that means that I can, usually the magic recommendations, if you choose a free graphic, it will give you recommendations for free graphics. So that I'm going to put one splash on each page. So I've chosen 3 to start with. Now I'm going to do a little bit of a search for a splash outline. It's, as I scroll through though, it looks like the splash outlines are all pretty much pro. So, and also we can do outlines in Design Space. So we're doing 3 splashes, and I'm going to download them as PNG files. If you are a pro user, you would choose a transparent background for this. However, I'm not, so I'm going to get rid of the background when we get into Canva, which is into Design Space, which is going to be really easy anyway. Then I'm going to extract the file. If you are a Apple user, you just need to double click on the zip file and it will extract it for you. If you are a Windows user, you need to right click and extract all, and then we can just head on into Design Space. So now that we're in Design Space, we just need a new project. So we're going to click on New Project, and I'm going to upload each of my splash images. So I'm just going to click on Upload, Browse, and then I can drag, or you can browse the file and find the file, but I've just clicked and dragged from my Finder window. And because these are just big shapes, all we have to do is get rid of one background. There's no little intricacies on the inside of it or anything like that. And I'm just going to name each one as Splash 1, Splash 2, Splash 3. So I'm just going to go through that. Okay, Okay, now that we've uploaded each one, I've just changed them all to about a 10 centimeter width. Not for any, we're not going to leave them at that shape, at that size, because it'll be too big, but just so that we can see them on the screen better. And I've changed each one to a different color. Now, I'm going to create an offset of each of these to create an outline. So we had a look in Canva, they didn't really have outlines that we could use as non-pro users. So to start with, I'm going to duplicate each image, and then I'm going to create an offset. Now I'm not sure if 0.1 is going to be too thin. We might try both. So I've done a 0.2 for this first purple one. So now I've created the offset, I'm going to highlight the offset and the shape, and then I just go down to combine and I click on subtract. And you can see now I've got an outline of the shape, and I've also got the shape. So I've got the purple splodge, and then I've got an outline of the purple splodge. With the blue one, I'm going to try the 0.1. We'll see what happens. Not sure if it's a good idea, but we'll have a go, and we'll try it also with the yellow one. You know, like, what's the worst? We're just going to use leftover vinyl anyway. So we may as well have an experiment. And because it's such a quick project, you can actually go back and do a rejig if you wanted to and change the outline. So I've just gone through and done that with all of them. And now I've gone into shapes. So I'm going to create a shape. This is going to be mimicking the circumference of the cylinder, or the outside of the cylinder of our pot. Not for any other reason, because we're not going to cut that out, but I just want to do a layout so that I can work out whether I've got enough of these splodges, if I don't have enough. So this is just a matter of playing around. And just play around with the splodges. What we do need to do is make sure that we resize our splodges so that they fit around our splodge design. Okay, so for each coloured splodge, we need to have a corresponding outline that works for us. So I'm going to go along there and just play around. This is going to be to your eye, to your taste. You can have big ones that go all the way around. You can have smaller ones. I am not going to stick with how this layout is. I'm not going to go back and go, oh, I wanted the yellow one here and I wanted the blue one here. I'm just using it so that I know how many I can fit and how many I should cut out. So just go through and play around. Once I've got the first three sorted. I'm now going to just copy and paste or duplicate, and then you can resize, but you are duplicating the colored image and the outline as well. So make sure you are duplicating both, not just one or the other. I've grouped each of those mainly because it's just easier to move around. So once you've done the outline and the shape and you've got it the way you want it to, I would just go to the right hand side, make sure you've selected the outline and the colored splosh, and then group each one, just so that when you move it around, you're not moving one thing and not the other. All right, before we make, we're obviously going to save. We have done a little bit of work here, so it's probably a good idea to make sure you do save. And then before we go to make, I want you to make sure that you delete that rectangle. And I'm going to change all of the splodges to the same color, because we're going to try and do this all on one mat. Because we're just using little leftover bits and pieces of vinyl, we don't want a new mat for each color. So I've just changed them all to this yellow color. And I want all of the outlines to be the same color as well, so that we have just two mats that we will use to do any cutting. Now that we've gone into make, you can see that they're all of the outlines are on the black mat, and all of the splodges are on a different one. Now it's a matter of you moving each of these. Before you go on to continue, I want you to work out what vinyl you're using and placing it on your mat, and then moving your outlines or your splodges to correspond to where you have got vinyl on that mat. So I'm using a couple of different metallic vinyls for the outlines, and I'm using matte or just regular vinyl colors for the inside splodges. So I'll just move them both around to match what vinyl I have. You can see here that I've actually got an image of my organization because my computer is not on the same table as my Cricut. It is a bit of a kerfuffle, but I don't have the space. So we've got our computer in one part. It's close to the Cricut, but I have to move seats. So I've actually drawn up an image of where all of my splodges are based on where my vinyl is sitting. So you can see here, this is my little image. Once you've got them all in the spots that you need them to be, you just click on continue and then choose your vinyl type. So I'm going to choose, as I said, metallic vinyl for the black one, and I'm just going to use regular vinyl for the splodges. And now I'm just going to lay my vinyl. Now, in hindsight, I would put the vinyl down first and then move my shapes around. I tried to match up the shapes with what I'd done on the Design Space mat. So I think that was not it still works, but it wasn't the best choice. So I would lay my vinyl down first and then go back to your screen and then move all of your shapes to match the vinyl. I did it the other way around because I was just concerned that I wouldn't have the right size vinyl. So it's a bit of a chicken before the egg situation here. But whatever works for you is best. So you can either lay the vinyl first, then move your shapes around, or you can put your shapes on your mat and then work around that. So you can see here why I had a little bit of apprehension about making the offset only 1 millimeter. I think if I was to do it again, I would probably make it a little bit thicker, maybe a 2 or a 3, because you are resizing it to be a smaller shape. So start big and then as a 0.2 or 0.3 offset. And then as you shrink it, it will shrink with the shape and it will be a little bit more user-friendly. I've got a tea towel that I've just put on my table and I've kind of rolled it. I've seen people, obviously lots and lots of people have the pool noodle set up for their cups and all that kind of stuff. I don't do a lot of cups. I don't do a lot of even pots, anything that rolls or moves around, as that has made me think, oh, I really need the pool noodle set up. But if you've got it, use it. If you don't, a tea towel works fine. I've just rolled it in. I've given a little bit of a like a little holder there, and it's not moving around. So now it's up to me just placing each of these splodges wherever I want it to go. Now, I've had a few, I don't know, what do you call them, dead soldiers. So some of these splodges won't have the outer outline, which is fine, because I think it's just, they're splodges. Splodges aren't perfect. So why do we need to go perfect here? But if I wanted to, I would have just gone along and I would have done a recut. And again, because it's scrap vinyl, you can fix anything up that you want to. Now, I'm a little concerned whether or not it's going to stick here because it's quite a chalky feel on the pot. So I'm just hoping that it doesn't lift up when I lift my transfer tape. So let's see. Perfect. Oh my God. I am shocked, but pleasantly surprised that this is actually stuck down really well. Oh, that's awesome. And then, so once I've done one, I'm just going to do the outline for it. And if I don't have an outline, I'm just not going to put it on. You can see there that I'm using the same transfer tape to do that. I think it has already, because it's that chalky feel, it has already started going on to that transfer tape. So I think I'll need a couple of pieces to do this project. But keep using as much transfer tape as you over and over again as much as you can, just to save yourself a little bit of money. This is one of those projects that we're trying to save a bit of cash because we're using leftover vinyl. So you may as well use up your transfer tape as many times as you can. Okay, now is this going to stick? So I was surprised by the big splodge, but maybe this little splodge won't be as forgiving. So it's hard with the scraper, so I'm just using my finger here to press it down. Oh yeah, it's worked. Oh, that's awesome. All right, so it's staying down, and I think it looks pretty cute. It certainly gives that splodge a little bit more pop than if it was just a splodge. All right, this is great. All right, so I'm just going to continue with that. And we'll speed this up because I don't know if you want to watch me put down 15 different splodges. So let's speed this up now. All right, so here I am. I've got to the end of this and I think it looks pretty cool. So I've got some with outlines, some without. I've actually even doubled up some of them. So I've got one you can see there with the yellow and the green. It was the one on the green metallic. I didn't actually have an outline because it was so thin. So I've just actually used the splodge, a bigger splodge, and put it underneath a smaller splodge. And it's worked. So I think this is pretty awesome. So let's have a look at the final product. How great does this look when it's all finished? Those colours really are striking on that white background. I can't believe how well those vinyl pieces have stuck to this chalky finish on the pot. So I'm just like thoroughly impressed. Go Kmart for the win. Fantastic if you are going to want something quick to give as a present. So your kid comes home from school and says, oh, we're going to little Johnny's birthday party tomorrow, Mum. I need a present for him. This is something great you could give. You could fill that then with paintbrushes, some paint, some coloured pencils, textures, whatever. And that becomes like a really cute, cheap gift for someone in your family. Great for an artist or someone who is a budding artist as well. So I would give this a go. The amount of vinyl that you use is minimal, but that also means that you can use this leftover vinyl that you have. And that makes it a really great project, I think. So, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you next week.